With us now is former State Senator Clayton He. If you could come up, Senator He. And we will have our questioners introduce themselves, and then you'll have 3 minutes for your opening statement. Welcome. Let's welcome Senator He.
Aloha, Senator. My name is Jordan Danner. I'm with the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement. I am the Policy Program Manager, and I oversee our Vote to Rise initiative.
Aloha, Senator. My name is Alohi Bickley. I'm the Policy Coordinator for Papa Olalokahi, but I'm here today on behalf of the Executive Council for the Shah.
Aloha, Michelle Kauhane with the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement.
And Senator,
Jerry will be your timer, so you just.
Oh, okay.
And you're welcome
Okay.
for give your 3-minute opening remarks.
Okay. Ai. Aloha pumai kako. O nui ko kaumaha I ke kakai aka nui no ka hala wai no I hala I o Kenekoa ia Kaniela I ka pone o kakaiaka. Oh, well, ua hala ke kahi koa no ka poe o Hawaii. Anyway, that's a hell of a way to start off, but nui ko'u hau'ole ana no ka CNHA no ke kuka I ka akokoa no ka haawi ka mana'o no ke kia aina e. O wau no Clayton He, o wau ke kanaka, o wau ke kanaka vale no. O wau ke kanaka vale no. O ko'u ohana no ka aina o Keawe, o ko'u makua hine, o ko'u kupuna hine no Waipi'o, o ko'u kupuna kane no Kona. No leila o wau ke kahi keiki no ka aina o Keawe. So, Hawaiian not that hard, yeah? We get it, yeah? Sometimes we think we don't get it, but we get it. I'm happy to be here as a Hawaiian, and I hope that we can have a good discussion on the issues. I see some of my people from Kahana came, and some people from Waiahole came, so, and some people from Kapolei came as well. So let's get started. Now, this young lady in the middle, I didn't get your last name. You have to excuse me because I'm Elemakule, you know.
Bickley.
Bickley?
Bickley,
Okay.
yes.
That's a nice Hawaiian name. Okay. Okay.
This is question 1 for the audience in relationship with Hawaiian leaders. What kind of policymaker are you? Are you the one who studies the issues impacting Native Hawaiians, or consulting with us and acting on our best ideas? How will you maintain access to our voices and our ideas after you are elected?
Okay. Let the record show that so many things that I have been given credit for really is because I was the one who either signed a bill or advocated for a position. But let's be very clear. Usually the success of the positions taken were because of so many others. So let me give you a good example. Robin Danner. I met this young lady when I was at OHA. She is a very intelligent young lady. And so because of her, not because of me, because of her, in 2010, we passed legislation that requires the Department of Hawaiian Homelands to collaborate with homesteaders. Do you folks know that? On commercial leases. Robin, remember? And not only that, we passed that bill that also included 15% of the revenues to go for community benefits. Remember? So, What does that mean? That means Kaupe'a gets 1% today. I just learned that today. So how much is that? 144,000. That's 1% of the commercial lease. So what do they do with that? They maintain the community center. It's my bill, but let's be clear. That lady over there is the one that brought the idea to me. Okay, so that ought to, I hope that answers the question that the wealth of intelligence isn't located between my left PPL and my right PPL. It's with the community. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Question 2. If elected in November, will you, along with your cabinet members, accept an invitation to attend and participate in a policy summit in February 2019 to introduce your cabinet and discuss your priorities?
He can know. Yeah, he can know. you think I'm gonna say no? You think I'm gonna say ole?
See you in February. We got
Okay.
that on record,
Okay,
right?
see you in February. Don't let me forget.
We won't. Hawaii's
know.
Constitution reaffirms and protects customary and traditional subsistence, cultural, and religious practices of our native people. Over 25 years ago, Hawaii adopted HRS 188-22.6, the Community-Based Subsistence Fishing Area Law, to both uphold its constitutional mandate and to build co-governance and co-management partnerships with communities most dependent on and intimate with their resources. It took 20 years to establish the first designation for Ha'ena Kauai, and in less than 2 years, the initial studies are promising. A Moloka'i initiative is now in the queue. As governor, what will your administration's policy be on community-based co-governance and co-management of our natural resources?
That's an easy question. It's a long one, but it's an easy one. I know I'm a little familiar with this because Makpoipoi at Mo'omomi is number 2 on the list. And Makpoipoi, I've been to Mo'omomi several times. Some of you know I used to teach school on Moloka'i. But Makpoipoi has been in that situation for almost 20, I counted last night, I think, almost 25 years they've been on queue. So this is what I'll do. I will approve that by executive order. So then you're not going to go through this 25-year wait. It'll be an executive order. And then let the land board work off of the executive order to make Mo'omomi as in Ha'ena. You know, when Ha'ena was approved, I think the governor at the time, is my good friend, he took over 6 months to approve it. And so people were ha'alulu about what's going on on the 5th floor. So let's take that off the table. If the Attorney General authorizes it, and I believe he will, Mo'omomi will become official by executive order. I understand Ho'okena is on deck and Miloli'i is on deck and other areas as well. So let's put the brown people up front and let the others react off of that. Okay? It's pretty simple, yeah? Okay.
Question 4. Hawaii was the first state in 1978 to recognize its native language as an official state language. As governor, will you give real value behind this official language, including fluency in the native language as a preference in all state job qualifications when all other qualifications are equal?
Well, yes, I will. How can you say no? I've had a real privilege in my lifetime of being an active participant with our Olelo. And again, I have been given credit that really belongs to others when the construction of Punana Leo and others, Hawaiian language immersion schools came to light. At OHA, I said when I left, I started at OHA in 1990. I left OHA in 2002. I said at the time I left that the crown jewel of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs was the acquisition and subsequent gift to Ahapunana Leo of Navahio Kalaniʻopuʻu, which to me is the flagship immersion program of Hawaii Ine. Not to brag, but to say we can be proud of Navahio Kalaniʻopuʻu because it has become the model for so many other Native American languages to recapture their language by looking at how Navajo has operated all these years. Through Pila Wilson, we worked to submit to Senator Inouye the Native American language as part of the Native American Languages Act, the section on Hawaiian language. So I am humbled by the opportunity to participate and work with so many language experts in the revitalization of our language, because without our language, we don't have an identity as Hawaiian people. That is my view. Thank you.
This is question 22. As governor, what will you do about the pu'uhonua in Waianae and the unshelter that exists in almost every county?
Yeah, I had the rare privilege of going to Pu'uhonua o Waianae and have an opportunity to speak with Twinkle and some of the people. It's clear to me that Pu'uhonua o Waianae and Pu'uhonua o Waimanalo have many things in common. It's clear to me there is a respect for each other, and there is an order within the village. So it's not a wild, wild west when you go to either of these two places. Of course, Waimanalo being the kuleana of Pampikanahele. I think it can work. I'm not sure it belongs there, but certainly it belongs somewhere. Governor Waihe'e was instrumental in the placement of the Waimanalo, Pu'uhonua o Waimanalo. I went there when it was all Pohaku, and have seen the changes made by the residents. So I believe that that is a huge part of the solution to the homeless issue.
Mahalo, Senator. Next question is 24 for the audience. Brain drain is a real social and economic capital loss characterized by highly educated and highly skilled individuals, which include college and vocational trade graduates, leaving the state for other economic opportunities. It is a major economic and social inhibitor. As governor, what are your plans to address and mitigate brain drain, including any new economic opportunities? And furthermore, would you support a governor's jobs program that targets local graduates in one-year fellowships for college and vocational trade graduates returning back to the islands?
You know, the last question was the easy part. Yeah, I think that a fund like that can be supported. Where the revenues come, I think, is an open question, because if we rely on government to be the answer for everything, I don't think we'll get very far. And I think we need to be clear about that. Government oftentimes becomes the problem as opposed to the solution. But I do believe that there are other areas that can help to provide funding. And let me toss a grenade out to the audience. I believe TMT and all those people that own TMT, including the countries of TMT, are not paying their fair share, including the rest of the telescopes that sit on Mauna Kea. That is a huge deal for all of those companies and countries that are involved there. They need to open their wallets. And as governor, I would be the can opener to open their wallets to do not only issues like this, but seriously, everybody needs to paddle that canoe together and not have telescopes up there selling the intellectual material for millions of dollars, and Hawaiians get dollar. Yeah.
This is question number 5 for the audience. Climate change is real, and as Native people, we anticipate being one of the only few locations suitable in the Pacific region for climate refugees from other Pacific nations. What leadership role do you envision as the governor of Hawaii to bring the larger Pacific region together to prepare and begin working and preparing together?
Okay, here comes grenade number 2. You know what is? I've said it's sucking the financial oxygen out of the state. Well, let me use a different phrase. The financial blight in the state of Hawaii is real. Okay, and if you for rail or against rail, it doesn't change the reality. What was supposed to be $5 billion, I voted for it. Let's make no mistake. Will likely be 13 billion, if we're lucky, and if it gets to Ala Moana. I have said it should stop at Middle Street, okay? Because time to stop the bleeding. If you stop the bleeding, money can go to other areas like climate change, okay? I live in Kahalu'u, not 3 miles down the road. When it rains heavy and when there's a king tide, nobody can get you Waikane. And the people, the Kahana people know that for sure. You know, I saw yesterday's paper, the Department of Transportation said would cost 15 billion to relocate highways Mauka. Mark my word, whether I come governor or not going to be governor, it's not going to be 15 billion. It's going to be way more than 15 billion. And that's the sadness of it all. Those highways need to either be elevated or they need to be moved Mauka. The other alternative, the engineers have told me, is to create what you call those, not berms, but in the river, in the ocean, to change the surf. And you know how the surf was going to react with that, okay? So in any event, groins is what the word I was looking for, groins. In any event, climate change is real. Our brothers and sisters in Oceania are losing their land, in Marshall Islands, in Micronesia, and in the low-lying atolls. And what does that tell you? We're next. And we cannot run from it. We have to prepare for it.
This is question 31. Simply put, as governor, what will your criteria be in selecting the director at DHHL and appointments to the commission?
That's a good question. Familiarity with Department of Hawaiian Homelands, the opportunity to improve the process there, even if it means 180-degree change in the way business is conducted at the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. I'm old enough to have seen many directors go through the department. I think there have been some fundamental mistakes that have been made in the past. I was fortunate enough to author a bill to allow Department of Hawaiian Homes to take the money out of the Treasury and start and invest it on their own. I'm not sure they have done it. And if they have done it, I don't know what the results have been. But there need to be some diametrical and fundamental changes at the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. There needs to be a paradigm shift in the attitude of the department towards its beneficiaries. I am a beneficiary. So all of those things I would be looking for in a director. The propensity to change. Government needs to change. And the delivery of government to beneficiaries needs to change.
Thank you. Question 30. As Hawaiians, we hear every year that the government doesn't have enough money for all the needs of its people. And every year, the government tells us that they can spend money on areas like the Hawaii Tourism Authority that is not constitutionally mandated, yet ignore issues like resource management, water priorities, and Hawaiian homes that are constitutionally mandated. As governor, what is your government spending plan to address all the needs in our state? And will your plan require tax increases?
You're not going to hear this from my opponents because I've said it and not a word has come back. But we're going to get it on when we have a debate. In any event, I said early on when I announced that at least two things ought to occur. One is a state lottery. The other is adult use of marijuana. I know that through the lottery, I know this, the state of New York has reaps $3.3 billion. I know that's a fact. the states of Florida, Pennsylvania, are near $2 billion in added revenue. I'm not saying that that's how it will be here, but I am saying that in lieu of raising taxes, government needs to get out of the box, and it's not a very big box, it's just a little box, and start to explore different ideas. With respect to adult use of marijuana, it is just starting, but the state of Colorado, for example, their revenue stream has increased by $250 million, and it's only going to go up. I think that it's coming, and it would be a good thing for Hawaii to get on board early as opposed to late.
Thank you, Senator.
You're welcome.
Question 34. What are your thoughts about improving voter registration and participation? For example, would you champion an all-mail ballot election system and automatic registration at 18?
Yeah, I saw that question, and that was a very interesting question. You know, this year for the first time, you can go and register and vote, same-day registration and vote. That's a good thing. I'm not sure about automatic registration, if it would run into some constitutional issues with the First Amendment, freedom of expression. I would think that somebody would say, I don't want to have an automatic, and you're taking away my freedom to express myself. And so I'm not sure about that, but that was a very interesting idea. But I have my doubts that that would withstand a constitutional challenge.
This is question number 36 for the audience. And you touched a little bit on this, but as governor, what will you do about the controversy on the Mauna? How will you balance the cause of scientists as well as those of the community?
Okay, good question. Okay, now, let's be clear. Okay, I support the TMT. Okay, I don't say it with a lot of pride, because I know of the kaumaha that is real there, and one of my best people that I have known since, been privileged to know, Princess Abigail Kawananakua, she's opposed to it, and I understand why she's opposed to it, and I don't quarrel with her opposition to it. We disagree, okay? However, I do not believe under the present circumstances that it should go as it is intended to go. And that is to say that if I were governor, I would call the principals of the TMT into the Capitol building. And this is what I think. I think that every public school graduate on the Big Island that qualifies to go to the university campus, any of the 10 campuses, ought to go for free. And TMT should pay. Okay? I also believe that every Native Hawaiian statewide from a public school, under the same conditions that qualify to go to the university, should go for free, paid for by TMT. And so long as they maintain a GPA, they should go for free, provided by TMT. What does that mean? That means if we did a statewide initiative, 13,000 graduates in public schools this year, okay? We have the cheapest, among the cheapest tuition, a four-year tuition in four-year colleges, universities. But for me, it doesn't matter. It is their gift back to the next generation. They say that science is priceless. I say, so is education of the next generation. And that's the ore that they need to stick in the water.
Thank you, Senator. Last question.
Okay.
The disproportionate per pupil allocation awarded by the state to charter schools continues to be a concern across the state. What solutions do you propose to address charter school needs for permanent facilities and parity in funding?
Okay. Two examples. I gave the example of Navahio Kalaniʻopuʻu. OHA purchased the school from the previous land owners. Then we deeded it over to Punana Leo for $1. The second example is ke kula nui, ke kula o ke kaha. The National Guard Army at Kekaha was being vacated. Dwayne Steele, who passed on, Ron Poi Poi, and Oswald Stender. But primarily Dwayne Steele came to see me at OHA because in the pecking order of agencies, the federal government goes first. No federal agency wanted the National Guard Army. So when it came to the state's turn, OHA wanted the National Guard Army. We had a deal with Dwayne Steele, who's just a terrific guy. He owns Grace Pacific. He owned Grace Pacific at the time. And largely through his generosity, he rehabilitated the National Guard Armory. So if you go to Kekaha now, and I'm sure some of you have, you will see an immersion charter school because the youngsters across the street, when they were in the DOE facility, were falling behind. They didn't get it because it wasn't in their language. That wasn't the medium of instruction. But at Kekula o Kekaha, they got it. And that's what we need to do more of. It involves government, in this case was the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, and it also involves private sector. And there's lots and lots of opportunities in that regard. Okay?
Mahalo, Senator, for your answers today and for highlighting that my last name is German. Yes.
Okay. Okay, kay Kelemania too. Okay, mahalo. Ahui ho.
No, Kalame, you have 3 minutes for your closing statement if you've
oh.
prepared one, and you can deliver it when you're ready.
Well, I didn't have a closing statement, but let me say mahalo nui loa. Inahiki e ho'okoho no ka kanaka inahiki. No leila mahalo nui ya oko hui ho.